Hey, Internet! It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about the season and series finale of Daredevil, A New Napkin.
Yes.
So, yes, right after we recorded our recap of episodes 11 and 12.
Right after.
Like within a couple hours. It came down, it was like, and that's it. They're canceling the series. It's like, it wasn't a complete shock, because I think I even stated it in terms of, hey, maybe we'll talk about season 4 if it happens. So I think I at least was a little cagey about whether or not season 4 would come around, since Luke Cage and Iron Fist had both been canceled right after their shows had come out.
Sure.
There was this thought of, will they do it? And they did. So I was like, oh, shoot.
I mean, if you could argue of any of the shows being the most popular, I think you'd say Daredevil.
Certainly. I think certainly.
And if they cancel that, then there you go.
Right. So what that means then is, for Jessica Jones and for Punisher, both of them have seasons that are already in the can. So they've got the next season of Jessica Jones, and they got the next season of Punisher, and you'd have to be a fool not to assume that as soon as they release those seasons, they'll say, and Jessica Jones is done, and Punisher's done.
But if you're a fool, right down at the bottom there,
That's true.
We don't discriminate.
Good point. Feel free to say why the Punisher may be the one series that continues.
Or Jessica Jones.
Yeah, so what do you, it's a shame partially because it seems like they finally got the formula right for a narrative arc that can last for 13 episodes. Like, that was always one of my issues with it. Even I liked most of the seasons of these shows, but there was always, it seemed like a down period where, maybe 10 of the shows were great and 3 of them were filler.
Yeah, we were saying the last time we shot, at least I was anyway, that it felt like they perhaps could have taken that last, event out of the series where they got their hopes up. But it set up what happened in the final episode. You couldn't have had that without it. Would have lost its dramatic impact if he hadn't really sacrificed everything to. That is, Ray, the FBI guy, hadn't sacrificed everything. So you needed all that.
And I think it does. I think Ray is what enabled this to be a 13-episode arc and not fall down. If Ray's story, then we're talking the FBI, Ray Nadeem, he has a very important part to play in this whole season.
Yes.
It
keeps you wondering when he's going to die.
Right, for instance. Episode 12. All right. Anyway, if that part had been less compelling or less well written, I feel like that would have been your, we're back to Ray. Oh, we're seeing how he does with his family.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. Like, it really held.
All the elements were strong. They kept what worked for Matt Murdock, what was strong with his character. They kept what was strong for Kingpin and his character. And they brought in successbent Dexter Poindexter, or Dexter, whatever his name is.
I like Dexter's Laboratory Poindexter.
Yeah.
Ben
Poindexter.
Anyway,
yeah,
Dex.
Poindexter, Dex. His character that was very strongly developed. And and Ray was another, strong.
So it was just, at the point where they finally, I think, maybe for the first time, got that formula right. And they're like, and we're done. And stop.
Right. And I feel like there has not been enough reporting about what the exact deal is, whether or not Disney can continue those shows or not. Actually, I've seen both things sort of talked about. I feel like if Disney made the deal with Netflix to do those 4 shows, and there's no way now for them to do those shows, then they messed up when they made those deals.
You're saying they, being Disney, messed up?
Yep.
Because, so what you've got is that obviously Netflix still holds the rights to the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, for instance. Right. So I've seen, like you, I can be kind of convinced both ways. Mm-hmm. If I listen to one, if I read one article, I can say, Disney will never bring back season 4 of Daredevil. And then I read another article, and I'm like, well, maybe they'll bring back I think I'm leaning in the camp of they're not going to do that. I think what they're going to do, I think, whatever. Here's 10 cents. Great. Here's your opinion. But I think that Disney will take the characters and recast them and make their own version of characters. And, Daredevil will show up maybe in a movie, maybe in yeah. I don't think they're going to be like, Charlie Cox, we want you back here. We're going to do season 4 of Daredevil, and here we go. I think they'll just take the characters and not the actors and do their own thing. That's
interesting.
I could be wrong. You obviously think that there's a reasonable chance that they'll continue the series.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. What I think is that if there's no financial reason or reason they set up the deal in the first place, where if they can do it, I think they should do it. I think you're right that it's possible that they just might decide to bring him in as a cast member in something else, the character Daredevil. Mm-hmm. They could recast it. I think Charlie Cox has enough motivation that if they offered it, he would take it. It's just, because everybody was saying, why aren't you in that world? They wanted to see them in that world. They like Charlie Cox as Daredevil. It doesn't make any sense to me if you can, he's kind of free now.
Now, remember, there was the thing, now, maybe this doesn't matter so much with the Disney streaming service, but there was this, story came out, hey, we were thinking about bringing those TV guys into Avengers 4, but the contracts were too complex. We couldn't do it. Why even bring that up then?
Yeah.
Either do it or don't.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Don't just come up with a half-assed excuse. There's no way to do it. I don't know. Contracts.
There it makes me wonder if it's when some talk about the person who's in charge of the television not getting along with, Kevin Feige, not getting along with him or whatever, or there's a different. So maybe that's why they need to fire that guy. Because, whoever's staying in the way of it, even if it's Kevin. Like, Kevin, you're fucking out because you're not figuring this thing out.
Paul's upset.
It's like, well, it's just, we need to see exactly what the situation is. If they don't value the character enough, we're like, well, we got other characters. It's like, well, it's popular. It worked. Use it. One of the best villains, people talk about the best villain being Kingpin. He's Spider-Man's villain. He's been villains to a whole bunch of other people. Use what works.
Well, also, if you were to, maybe point at maybe not a failing, but a little minus in the column for this season, which again, I love this season. I think it's the best season of Daredevil they've had. But again, there was no
anything
larger
outside
universe.
Of it. Yeah, no.
We didn't see Luke, even with the TV guys or the Netflix guys.
Yeah.
You didn't have an episode where Iron Fist or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones.
It was really small,
They mentioned
right?
Jessica Jones.
Right, they mentioned her, that's true. And also, Annabelle Ciara's character started in Luke Cage and not Daredevil.
But not the actual heroes themselves.
Correct.
And, anyway, it's like some of those problems probably could have been solved easier if you had another superhero helping you out. I don't know. But anyway.
Well, it's interesting how in the
movies... It was
a
Daredevil story.
In the movies, they've done it in a way that, it's surprising that they couldn't do it on the TV shows, where Captain America's bit in the second Thor movie, that can't take too much time to do. You couldn't do something like that with the damn TV show. It's like, Jessica Jones, I left something in your apartment. Okay, see you later.
Right, right. Whatever the point is. And they kind of did that, I thought, fairly successfully, actually, with in the second Luke Cage season, where they kind of rehabilitated Iron Fist a little bit. They brought him back. Yeah. It was a little forced, but it was still like... They had a good rapport. They had a cool fight scene, and he helped the plot along and then disappeared.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, that's cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And I think, this was a Daredevil story, and no larger universe. Be damned. But in any case, all right. So it is a sad thing that if potentially that means that this series is done. But this was a very good season, and
yes.
You should, if you haven't checked it out and you're watching this, it's kind of weird, but whatever. Go check out this season because it was very good. So, all right, let's talk about the end of season.
Yes.
/ series.
Yes.
So, as you pointed out, in the last episode, we set up the scenario where, hey, maybe everything can go right and we can use the law and the law can work and we don't have to kill people.
Yeah.
And then that didn't work.
No.
And Bullseye shows up and kills Ray
Yes.
at Ray's house.
Yes.
Not before Ray had recorded a thing.
No.
A video.
That's right.
Now, whether that actually holds up to hearsay standards, we'll just say, sure it does. Dying declarations
I
on
feel
a
as
video.
if I've heard that before.
I mean, dying declarations, yes, there is an exemption, a hearsay, yes, for that. But I don't know, a guy on a video, like, you'd have to prove the authenticity of the video. You have to prove that he wasn't coerced doing the video. I don't know. There's a lot.
It's hard to imagine.
I'm just saying, I feel like there's ways that if you were a crafty lawyer and somebody just showed up with a video, a kind of handy video with no way to really
Well, here's the
prove
thing.
anything.
It's introduced in the court of public opinion. Yeah. So it's not like a judge can say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's not gonna." People read it already.
Well, public opinion, sure. I'm just saying in a court of law.
I just meant just that happening and the cops being like, "Hey, that's all we need."
I mean, the point being they were going to use that to take down Kingpin. I mean, that's the thing. It's like this in court of law. It's unimpeachable. Boom.
But it can be introduced.
I'm just saying maybe, maybe not. Okay, but anyway, we're going to assume it can be, and then it passes all the hearsay exemptions. And
you go.
Okay, great.
They already have his wife saying that. Oh yeah, that's what happened.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Sorry. Daredevil tortures one of Kingpin's underlings. It hangs him off a roof until he gives up information. Part of the information he gives up is that Vanessa, Kingpin's wife now, ordered the killing of Ray. He also mentions the woman that Kingpin killed that was the obsession of Daredevil, or of Bullseye, which we kind of figured was going to happen eventually, and it does. And so that's kind of where Daredevil then takes off on, here's ways we can help take down Kingpin. Kind of one thought I had, though, was back to this idea of whether or not the video confession would be used in court, is they seem very quick, Foggy, Karen in particular, and I suppose Matt by the end of the thing are like, yeah, this will work in court and we can take him down.
Yep.
But if you go back to episode 12 and instead of Ray, it's Ray's video and you just do everything else the same, Kingpin still gets off because he paid off the jury, and the jury was, no matter what evidence was introduced, they're going to say, yeah, no. So like why do they suddenly believe the law is going to work now? That no, we have better evidence. See, there's no way he could possibly pay off a jury a second time.
No.
I don't know. Anyway,
you don't think anybody like the Justice Department of the United States would think, "Wait a minute, what's going on down there?"
Well, I mean, the way that they've presented Kingpin, and especially in those last couple episodes, 11 and 12, he was pretty omnipotent. Like,
right?
Who knows? You say the Justice Department?
Yeah.
Probably half of them are on his payroll. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's how big he was. I'm just saying, it didn't seem like a done deal. Like, well, we got this video. There is no way that he's going to skirt the law this time. Recent evidence notwithstanding. All right, anyway. We accept within the confines of this show that it's airtight. There is no way Kingpin can get out of this. At least Kingpin believes that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Kill me.
Yeah. So, Matt calls up Dex.
Yeah.
Tells him, hey, by the way, that person you were obsessed with and was really creepy? Well, Kingpin had her killed.
Yep.
So you would be the new North Star.
Yep.
I watched listened to all your tapes. You like to kill cats. And here's where you can find her body. Again, that was kind of weird. That it was like, there's a bunch of bodies in a room.
Yeah.
The
fact that they
maybe call the cops on that.
The fact that they didn't get rid of,
Yeah.
those bodies.
We'll just leave all those bodies in the storeroom.
Yeah, just keep them. You never know if you're going to need them.
That's true. And as it turns out, Daredevil needed it
Yeah.
to convince Bullseye, Kingpin, and so Bullseye shows up. Oh, that's my frozen girlfriend. And then one of the creepiest moments in the show, which I was pretty cool. Bullseye puts frozen girlfriend in his car and then drives up to Kingpin's wedding with frozen dead woman in his car, just to show how off he is. I like that touch. So that sets up Bullseye off. He realizes he's been conned, and manipulated, just like Ray was manipulated. Yeah. So was he. So he's gonna go and try to kill Kingpin at Kingpin's wedding. Kingpin's getting married at his big palatial place, and so here's where it gets. I was a little confused as to Matt's reasoning for this. Okay, so one of the things we see is that Dex basically breaks into the party. He knows all the security protocols.
Yes.
So he goes up the back way and kills people. He'd probably kill them.
I'm sure he killed.
So
he's a killer.
So Daredevil's following all the bodies, basically like, hey, you got through for me, thanks. But then you get to the big moment where Kingpin has just gotten married. They're going to have their first dance. And they're out on the floor and they're dancing.
Yep.
Then the Dean photo comes up on people's, or video comes up on people's phones. Okay, that's bad. But then Bullseye shows up.
Yeah.
He has to get a microphone.
Yep.
Just want to say, whatever.
Me and the girlfriend.
To the happy couple.
Just want to say, hey.
And he throws the microphone.
Yes.
At Kingpin.
Sure.
You can make the assumption based on the rest of the show that if he hits Kingpin with that microphone, Kingpin's dead.
Right.
Unless, Kingpin is a super villain, so maybe not. But it's going to severely hurt, if not kill, Kingpin.
Sure.
And so, in that moment, Daredevil throws the silver tray and blocks the microphone from hitting Kingpin.
Right.
Okay. Why? So, what that means to me is... See, what I got out of it, or what I thought the show was trying to say, is that up until the moment that Daredevil is about to kill Kingpin,
yes,
he wants to kill Kingpin.
Right.
But because he stops Bullseye from killing Kingpin that early on, I think his whole intention the entire time was to put him in jail. Why would you do that?
That's possible.
Why not let Bullseye kill him?
Here's the reason why. Because people still think that's Daredevil. So let me fight him as this broke ass, not having a good uniform, Daredevil, and so people can see, oh, who's that fighting Daredevil?
Huh. I'm not saying you're wrong. I hadn't thought of that. Okay. All right, if you got an idea out there, what you think?
And two, also, I think it's. It did seem to me as part of his plan is to fight both of them. But the fact that making them want to kill each other as opposed to killing him was, that was the key.
It just felt like, oh, he just did my job for me. And look, I don't have to kill Kingpin. Like, it kind of solved all his problems. But he didn't. He stopped it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I thought.
Yeah. No. Throughout the fight, even after nobody was around anymore, and he was in the apartment, and he kept stopping. Although, actually, at that point when they're alone, it looks like he was going after Vanessa more.
He being Bullseye.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
and
even
actually,
went back.
maybe that's really what he was trying to do.
See, that's what I kind of went back and watched it to see if maybe he was throwing the microphone at Vanessa, but I don't think so. The way it was filmed, it looked like the intent was that it looked like it was going to Kingpin. You're right. If it had been going at Vanessa, that makes sense. Oh, we're not going to have innocent bystander. If this had gone on to
and he knew that that was his only way to get out too.
His only way to get out? In what way?
Well, the deal that he makes at the end. We're not gonna have her go to prison because he knew about that, what she did, and that she could go to prison for what that Vanessa could go to prison. So that's the only thing he had. We're not gonna send her to jail, so you go. So it had to be in his head somewhere.
Yeah. I kind of almost feel like maybe it was a thing from the beginning,
like a backup. If I can't do it.
Although it is interesting. I mean, again. This line of not killing people. I mean, he set Dex into a rage to go kill a bunch
Yes.
of people
Yes.
to get to Kingpin so he could get to Kingpin.
yeah.
Like that's not a hero thing, right? I mean, you just killed a whole bunch of folks
Yeah.
by proxy. But,
Yeah.
okay, anyway. So they set up this big three-way fight. And it's a little odd again that, Bullseye killed Father Lantum. So
Yes.
So Daredevil has, a lot of reasons to want to seek vengeance on
Sure.
Bullseye. Maybe it's just because, because he keeps basically just blocking
Yep.
Bullseye and attacking Kingpin. But I suppose Kingpin take care of it for him when he breaks his spine.
Yeah.
Kind of pulls the Bane Batman
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
And so the fight's cool. I didn't mind it. It wasn't the best fight of the season, but
No.
it was
fine.
It was interesting. So Bullseye is paralyzed. Kingpin has been pummeled. Vanessa is just kind of standing there watching, even though Kingpin keeps telling her to leave.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just gonna hang out here creepily. Like, what the? If you're worried at all about this guy, anyway. But she trusted Daredevil. Apparently,
I think she, bought into the whole "I'm a part of your life" thing.
I was kind of expecting her to pull out a gun or something, or maybe
Yeah,
kind
she's
of
not
protect
armed.
him.
Foolishly.
Yeah. So they make a deal. Again, can't imagine this deal holding up, but whatever. Basically, as long as Kingpin doesn't attack Karen and Foggy, and as long as he doesn't reveal Matt as Daredevil, then and goes to jail. Matt won't reveal Vanessa's involvement
in the crime.
crimes.
Yeah.
And thank goodness Kingpin loves someone
Yes.
as much as he does.
Yes.
Because most criminals in that situation are going to be like,
Yeah.
it's all right. You take her away. But that's what separates Kingpin. He's got this.
Yes, he got the love.
He's the one. It's kind of. I didn't think about this actually, but Matt is the one who's like, I'm bitter loner.
Yes.
The one who has a love interest is Kingpin. Usually that's the other way around,
Sure.
right? Usually the villain is like, I'm in my tower alone,
Right.
and the hero's like, to protect my true love. But in this case, they flipped it so that the villain's like, to protect my true love. That's kind of interesting. So yes, and it ends that way. So then it's make amends time. So we do have Matt making up with his mom. His mom does not die.
Yes. No, you're right.
She
She's
didn't
sticking
die.
around.
She survived.
No.
She survived the series.
She did.
And Foggy and Matt and Karen they meet up, and the reason it's called a new napkin, the name of the show episode, is that on a new napkin they write out the Nelson, Page, and Murdoch, and they're gonna give it a go. Foggy's gonna forego his, whatever, 6-figure salary or whatever he's got to take these cases, and everyone seems happy at the end.
Yes.
We also have Matt gives a funeral eulogy for Father Lantum.
Yes, he does.
And he brings in the whole man without fear angle,
Yes, he does.
which is a common moniker for Daredevil.
Yes.
The man without fear. So
Yes.
he says Father Lantum, gave him the challenge of living like a man without fear, basically. It really ends on an up note for all of our heroes.
It does.
Somewhat uncharacteristically for a show as dark at times as
I
this
was
show
going to
is.
say somewhat for Bullseye too.
Oh yeah. So for Bullseye, there's like a little stinger. It's not even an end credit. It kind of comes before the credits, but
it does.
he's being worked on in some experimental lab, and they're infusing his spine with some vibranium type stuff basically, and we see his eye open. He's got a little bullseye on his eyeball, his iris.
Yeah.
Meaning he's not dead, and he's not going to be paralyzed, and he's going to be even better because he's going to be like Wolverine, I assume, or some kind of like adamantium
To his
skeleton
spine.
or something. Yeah. Well, and maybe If you do his spine, you might as well just go ahead. While we're in here, let's go ahead and give him some ribs. So he, if they were going to do a season 4, he would obviously be a pick to come back. Although you still have Kingpin. Kingpin's going to be back in jail. But was really, really compelling. Vincent D'Onofrio. Yeah. Just such a great job with that villain. So it would be a shame if that villain never showed up again in the MCU, in the personage of Vincent D'Onofrio. Yes. Thoughts, sir? I've been talking a lot. But,
I mean, the series was good. I liked how it resolved,
Matt did not break his code.
No.
As tenuous as the code is.
That's right.
I cannot directly, physically cause the death of someone else. Sure, maybe something I do will cause their death maybe in months to come when, because of a collapsed lung, they develop pneumonia and then they die. Within like an hour of me hitting them, if they don't die, I feel like I'm virtuous. And you almost get this feeling like, at least for a short time, everyone's well adjusted. Everyone gets getting along. Which you wouldn't necessarily have thought from the beginning.
And she doesn't have to make up with her father.
She did not. Oh, she being Karen. Yeah, there wasn't a Karen and her father makeup moment. It was just, it kind of felt like, what was the point of that backstory of not to have some little arc for her, but it's fine.
Well, potentially it would have been the 4th season, obviously.
Okay. That when things start going awry or something, then it's like, dun, dun, dun.
Maybe there's some situation.
He's under threat, or kill your father.
Or something.
So, a little plot point for later.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
That's what it was supposed to be.
Plus, we learn more about her character and stuff. But
Yes.
Right. That is all up in the air. The next whole series will be, will there be a series?
Yeah.
Find out as agents battle each other in pens and... yes. An excellent season. Really did not have a loser episode. No. It wasn't an episode where you were like... And so, just really compelling. Well done, Daredevil, Season 3. Happy to have embarked on it with you.
Sure.
Mr. Bunton.
There I am.
We are, in the near future, going to turn our attention to Counterpoint.
Yes.
Counterpart. It's a 60 minutes show where two guys talk. Counterpoint? No. Counterpart will be coming back in like 2 or 3 weeks. In the meantime, we are going to be we're trying out Night Flyers.
Yes.
So it's George R.R. Martin's sci-fi series. It's on Sci-Fi. Trick is they're releasing like one per day over like the next 10 days. Like,
6 days, my friend.
6 days until...
Counterpart.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so it's
6
coming up really
days.
fast. So we are going to give... I actually watched the first episode of Night Flyers last night.
I watched both.
I'm going to watch the second episode tonight, and we'll talk about the first 2 episodes. I wasn't thrilled with the first episode, but it's the setup episode. The setup episode to a lot of things can be one of the more, less compelling episodes. So I'm willing to give it another shot, and we will talk about episodes 1 and 2 of Night Flyers later this week.
Yeah.
So come back for that. Mm-hmm. But yes, anyway, everybody, Paul, are we good?
Yeah, we're
good. Yeah. Please let there be a Daredevil season 4. Whoever runs it.
Yes.
All right, anyway, subscribe, hit the little likey button if you like. I got my hand up, so it's like, oh, God. But bye, everybody.